Robert, in case they couldn't tell from the thumbnail, the background, the title of the stream, what are we doing today?
Tonight we are going to be starting Stranger Things season 4. This is not a first time reaction for us. We have both seen the show before.
So this season, arguably, just from a cultural perspective, was the biggest season since the first one.
I agree.
And we have Hayden in the chat. I wasn't invited because you said you weren't gonna. I thought you were gonna be around. Tyler says no. Noah. Noah thinks he's too good for the show.
That's true. He won't watch it.
Yeah.
No matter how many times we ask. Because to your point, now I don't know how the viewership compares season to season. This has obviously always been a massive show since the first season, but I do remember a lot more social media discourse around this season than previous seasons. Also, that also includes, memes and TikToks and all these other things you didn't get out of the first couple seasons. But yeah, this is a pretty big deal for a while.
Yeah. Episode 1 is an hour. Damn it. Hour 15, it looks like.
No, hour 18 is what it says on the Netflix.
All right, Robert, are you ready to get into the first episode of season 4? All right, in 3, 2, 1, play. So overall, you like this season?
I like it a lot. This is my second favorite after season 1. There's a lot of great stuff here. The asterisk being, I think there are too many characters, and most of these episodes are too long. It's definitely the most bloated season.
I think this has the best A plot. This is also the most bloated, self-indulgent season.
Mm-hmm.
And then Teddy says the leaked rundown. I don't know what a rundown is, but was confirmed fake by Ross. I don't know who Ross is either. And yes, I saw that he corrected himself, but it was still funny. And there's a couple of character things I don't love in this season.
Same. We might agree on some, might disagree on some. I have that with every season, pretty much after the first. It's like there's always some characters I think that are handled better than others. I do like this cold open here, reintroducing us to Matthew Modine's character, Eleven's father, getting this flashback to the 70s.
And you could be forgiven, I think, for not realizing that's who this is, because he hasn't shown up since season 1.
He has a guest appearance in 2.
And we'll get more into it when we get to some of this stuff. I don't think the flashbacks in this season line up with what we saw in the first season. But now it's been so long since I watched the first season that I'm not sure.
Yeah, one of these days, maybe this year, I do really want to just, on my own, just binge this whole show over, like a week, and just see if it tracks better or worse for me, because there's definitely some retconning going on this season. That's for sure. So, in case you forgot, the episode where Matthew Modine appeared in season 2 was the infamous episode with Eleven and her sister.
The most pointless episode in television history.
Many would say it's up there.
Whether you like it or not, sorry, real quick, just whether you like it or not, before people come at me in the comments, they never followed up on it. That makes it the most useless hour of television in history.
Okay, but here, where they do follow up on it is with his cameo, because it's a vision that Eleven's sister makes her see. It's actually they're okay. So what they do follow up on is what they hint in that scene is, at least according to Eleven's sister, is that he's still alive. As of season 1 and the start of season 2, we thought he was dead, or assumed he was dead. So there in that episode, they set up, oh, he's actually still alive. And then in season 3, we never bring him back. And it really felt like, okay, we're just ignoring that. And
this is where we start to feel retconny. Because I always got the sense from what I remember season 1 now is she was the only one at that time, by the time that she escapes.
I disagree. Because because she's called 11. That number obviously means something.
Right. I don't mean she was the only one ever, but I didn't get the sense that even when she was there was like an army of these kids running around.
There's definitely more than I would have assumed, but isn't, and maybe this is two. What wasn't there a scene in season one where Hopper like is in this building and finds a room like with the drawings on it? Like
Maybe.
he, because this is just me speaking. I always got the impression from that scene that was hinting that there were other kids. That 11 didn't draw that, because what Hopper is thinking in the context of that scene is he thinks Will drew that, because if you remember back in season one, that's what he thinks the conspiracy is that they kidnapped Will, and he probably drew that, which obviously
Well,
we know
and
isn't true.
even if
So,
that's the case, I'm not arguing that there was never kids there. I just always read it like by the time you get to 11, she's the only one there. All the other kids have either gone or they killed them.
well,
Well,
as we'll find out later,
but
they are all
also
dead.
this timeline doesn't make sense.
How so?
Real quick though, because I don't want to get too bad on the chat. Teddy says, "I'm
Oh,
a man of
perfect.
two minds. I think the season is great. I also think it's too long and is the most pointless, boring arc ever, which is the California stuff." I agree, except I think the Russia one is way more pointless and boring, and it feels like it exists just because they wrote themselves into a corner.
Feels
Um,
obligatory.
yeah. Uh, Tyler, do you think the status quo season 5 could last a whole season, especially if it's like 20 hours worth of content? Personally, I think it will feel even more bloated. Um, Here's the thing. I haven't looked at any of the trailers because I already know I'm going to watch it, so I'm going in blind. It is going to be bloated because each episode is the length of a movie, and they have 7,000 characters to get through. It is going to have all of the same problems this season had, probably bigger. The question is, does it stick the landing? I don't know. Maybe this isn't fair. I don't entirely trust them to stick the landing because they seem to be scared to do anything interesting or bold. And then Tyler
Uh,
agrees with me. He thought she was the only one in the facility. I don't get the sense because in I haven't watched this in a long time, so season 4 is a little. This is a little kind of first reaction, but only because I forget. But isn't it they are all killed by either him or Vecna, or by her or Vecna in this? I don't remember.
I think they're all. I think the rest are killed by Vecna,
I did get the
but they
sense
want you
that
to think that
all of
she
the
did.
kids were recently killed. And if Father thinks
Okay.
she did it, I don't think that lines up with the way he's acting in season 1.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation
Yeah.
that I'm not prepared enough to get into.
No, that's
His
fair.
character, it's like he's so unlikable.
In season 1.
And in season one, and then in four, I think they try to redeem him more than he deserves. But I like the
Well,
performance a
it's
lot. I think
because
Matthew Bendine's best work on the show is in this season.
I think with 11 they also wrote themselves into a corner and they went, "Well, what do we do? The Return of the Jedi. So we got to have 11 have her Luke, going to find Yoda moment."
Mhm. Yeah, and also timeline wise, remember this is 1979, so this is still a few years before Stranger Things 1 even
Well, and that's
starts.
fair. That is a problem with how long this show takes because I can't tell because Millie Bobby Brown is visibly older than she was in the first season.
Sure, sure, sure.
They try. Teddy loves the Russia stuff. That is a 30-minute subplot stretched out to the course of the whole season.
I'm between both of you. There's things I like about it. I also think it's too drawn out.
We'll get to it, but when we got to the scene where the pilot betrays them, I was like, of
We're doing this.
course,
Yeah.
yeah. Hopper fighting the
No.
demo goblin or whatever.
Well, okay, but back to this episode. Boy, does this set a tone. Like, oh, we're
It
going back to one, and
Yeah, but
we're getting dark.
if you think 11 did this, are you going to keep her around for another 4 or 5 years?
I believe that this guy would. He seems morally reprehensible enough, and she's powerful. Like there's there's two takeaways from this. It's wow, she's powerful, and wow, she's scary, and I have to control her. I think the way they're playing it is this just factors into his overprotectiveness of, oh, she is dangerous, and like I
This
said,
is
we'll find
also
out.
that annoying cold open where, oh, it's not actually what you think, but you're not going to find out about that until the end of the season.
For like 6 or 7, and I think it's trying to show because he's also shown to be very cruel with her,
Oh,
like
that
when she,
looks really bad.
yeah, they're doing the CGI face
I
on the.
I didn't notice that the first time I watched it. Now I'm looking at him like, yeah,
I
that's
think it's hit or
rough.
miss. Uh, I don't have strong feelings on that stuff. But also back to the point I was making. It's there's scenes in season 1 where he's like trying to get her to like crush the soda can and she won't do it, or like when she's trying to kill the cat and she won't do it, and he's like very cruel with her. I think what they're trying to establish here is the context for that is like he knows what a monster, what he thinks she's a monster and can go to those places, and he's trying to push her there. But also he's very controlling. That
Yeah, 'cause Tyler
big
says that
point of that
he
character.
always thought that the X-Men kids are the ones that had left the facility before she was created. Because, and that's fair, you might be right, I'm not saying you're not. But even in season 1, 11 doesn't act like she grew up with a lot of other kids. She acts like she grew up in isolation because she can't even speak.
Yeah, okay. Two things. It's she's still shown to be kind of the loner, kind of socially awkward here, but also like this whole Vecna thing really traumatizes her, and they do this the convenient amnesia stuff.
Can I complain
Where
about something for a second?
go for it.
This stuff is bullshit.
What is
All of the forced drama between Mike and 11. We just did this last season
um
because I think Will puts it in her head, or she just gets it in her head that Mike doesn't love her because he never signs his letters with love.
it's from Mike, right? Yeah, that's the stuff I'm not crazy about. I
It
I
really
like
makes her
some of
seem
this,
like
but
a
also
deranged, clingy girl.
I'm with you that it just feels like too much of a repeat from 3. Like we can never. This show will often struggle with relationship stuff where we can't just sit in something comfortably. It's like, well, we gotta have drama. We gotta, and it's like, ah, I'm gonna be going to this place a lot, and I've said this in previous commentaries. I I feel like sometimes the show will have something good going with a character or a story that I'm invested in, and then it gets interrupted with the plot. It's like we got to get back to the plot. We got to make the plot happen. And I'm like,
This
in the context of a TV show, I can just sit and smell the roses and just have fun with these characters for a while. You have the time for
this
that.
show is terrified of downtime.
Yeah, it's got to get back to that plot. And I like these characters. I
Tyler
like just
says
hanging out with
Mike.
them.
Tyler says he hates Mike after season 1.
I don't have that.
I don't
I
hate
like him.
Mike. I think he's pretty good in season 3. After a certain point, the problem is he gets stuck with these really bad storylines that feels the most like adults trying to write teenagers. Like, oh, Will wants to play D&D because he's not into girls, and Mike just wants to have go be with his girlfriend. Uh, okay. No, and I've had that issue since season 1. They suck at relationship stuff. So he says, who do you think will die in season 5, and who do you want to die? I'm rooting for Jonathan to die. I can't stand him. I haven't liked him since season 1.
And I like Jonathan. I also think he should die because I think that's what the story needs.
Well,
And I
and
think
I
that
don't
he
even know
gets
why he's in this season.
very little to do, and that's my problem with the Mike stuff this season. Is I like Mike fine this season. He just doesn't get anything to do. He's just there.
Do you like that they made Jonathan a stoner because it's funny?
Eh, I'm cool with that. And what's his friend's name? Is Argyle?
Yeah.
I think he's
Everybody
fun.
loved. It's all right.
I I think he's fine comedic relief. I don't need him to be a mainstay. I don't know if he's gonna be in 5 or not,
I
but
heard
like
he
that's akin to
wasn't.
maybe not. But I think that's for the
So
best
I'm
because the show
gonna
has a million characters.
I probably will rant about this when we get to the scene too, but I'm gonna rant about something for a minute. Um, I like Eddie as a character a lot. The Stranger Things fandom has made me hate Eddie because all I heard for months after this was, "How dare they kill Eddie? Eddie deserves better." This is the
I know.
fourth time they've done this. How are you
It's weird.
still falling for it?
Yeah, and it's so weird because that obviously got a degree of backlash because Eddie really clicked, people really liked him, but then you have the other side that's like, well, they should have killed Steve because that would have been more ballsy and risky, and it's like, I don't know, man, that would have set the internet on
I
fire,
would have.
and I'm kind of glad that
I'm
didn't
not
happen.
even being dramatic. I would have quit watching.
It's a tricky thing because you need to have stakes, you need to let main characters go, but he's one of the reasons why I watch the show.
Yeah. So we have a
It's
new
a risk.
name that I don't recognize. Phoenix Dragons. I apologize if I mispronounced it. Said the
Really?
Duffers said he isn't. I'm assuming they're talking about Argyle.
Okay. And you know what?
Um.
That's restraint for them.
Yeah. But my point is with Eddie, it's every season. Season one. I
Yes.
forget who is it in season one. Oh, it's Barb.
Well, Barb's like the
Season two
catalyst.
is Bob. Season three is the Russian guy. We're
And
four
Billy.
seasons, 9 years in. How are you still? Billy doesn't fit into that. I'm talking about the character they introduce
Yeah, yeah,
that's supposed to be really likable to kill because it's shocking.
yeah. Yeah. And again, but this is also a case where, in my opinion, the Eddie story, it's like, well, that was really predictable. That wasn't shocking at all. I
Yeah.
also think it's what was best for the story. Like, both things can be
My
true.
just
And it
complaint is I don't but I don't necessarily buy that he would have picked Master of Puppets.
oh, I've never had that.
I mean, it's not the worst pick. It should be fair. Some of it is because I do identify with Eddie. You know, we have the same kind of music taste and stuff like that. It just I guess I can't look past. It feels more like a choice by the Duffers than it does Eddie. Like, oh, that's a Metallica song from the '80s. Everybody knows. Uh, this is the biggest crime of this season, which we do not get nearly enough Steve and Robin interactions.
I like what we get. This is fun stuff at
This
the
is
start.
great.
I like the Fast Times reference where if you know, you know. Like,
Yeah, I haven't seen that, so
that is a very iconic nude scene in that
okay.
movie that they're talking about here.
And we're still being smart with Robin's dilemmas. Like, I buy that she's having this problem because it is a real problem. You know, she can't just go around asking girls out.
Yes, that feels authentic to the time, and that's the part I was talking about where it's like she
God damn it,
returns
Steve.
Fast Times at 53 minutes. No, their
Tyler.
interactions are great.
Oh, so Tyler kind of got us back on track with talking about death. He says, "Do you think Max should have died this season?" Absolutely.
I disagree, but we can get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to
I
that later, Tyler. But that was a jump the shark moment.
I know you feel that way about it. I think for the story that would have been a mistake. This season makes me like Max a lot, and I think that really undermines her
But that
journey
would have
and the
been the
story.
Eddie story done better. It would have been a legitimately shocking death.
It would have been shocking. I still think it would have been wrong for the story. Asterisks to that being, this show absolutely has a refusal to kill main character problem and character fake out death problem. That I think it's part of a bigger issue than just in your opinion Max should have died. It's no, season 1 fake killed 11, season 3 fake killed Hopper, and then this one fake. There's a pattern there that I think is more of the issue.
Yes,
In my
and
opinion.
just how they do it. This is
I
another
have a
character
few.
that
We'll get
people,
there.
at least people that I know, went crazy over, and I don't get it. She's a nothing character.
I wouldn't call her nothing. I like Chrissy fine. I think the it's kind of weird. I don't want to speak for her. I want to say the hype around this whole thing actually kind of made her step away from acting. Like this just got her more attention than she wanted. That may be incorrect. That could be false information. I don't know if she's acted in anything since then, but given how weird the
Phonics.
fandom around her is, yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just
my
a
big thing
hard.
is I don't understand why the fandom is so weird. She's in like 2 episodes.
She's the Barbara of this
Phonics
season.
says I liked Nancy and Robin, but nothing beats Steve and Robin. Yeah. Tyler says, is that the fourth? No, that's the finale with Max. Oh, that's
Oh
just in
yeah,
the finale, right?
that's the finale.
Okay.
4 is we'll get to it tonight. Is like the
Is
big
Dear
Vecna
Billy.
episode. Yeah.
So
So
I think we're about to get to it, so I'll bring this up now because I want to see how you're thought. My biggest complaint with the group of kids this season, and this is just it's a trope I don't like, is I don't like what they do with Lucas like at all. With the whole, he's turning his back on his friends because he wants to be the cool basketball player. I never got the sense in any of the other seasons that he was even interested in sports or being cool.
I always got him as more of an athletic type than the other ones. He's more of like an action guy. He likes Rambo and things like that. And he's here definitely in good shape. So I think this is a fine starting place for him, having him, because they're all in high school now. He's joined the basketball team and is losing interest in D&D. I think that's a fine place to start with him.
But it's not that he's losing
And
interest in D&D. He doesn't even want to be seen with them.
yeah, that's the stuff they play up more than I need. And it's that tricky thing of if the
Oh, and
show
here's your
wanted
favorite
to.
trope, the Stephen King bully.
I know. This guy's great, though. Great performance. And
He has one of the
actually,
best deaths in the entire show.
the
It's
death is great.
insane.
Oh my god, that guy. And in that guy's head, that I actually think, as far as the Stephen King bully trope goes, he's very high on the list because I think where he's coming from is very understandable with the limited information he has. And in his death, he still thinks he's right because, like, how else would you process what's going
No,
on?
one thing that really appeals to me about the A plot of this season is dealing with the satanic panic. And I'm not
Yeah,
a big history guy, but as somebody who likes heavy metal and horror movies and stuff like that, I find the satanic panic very interesting. So
it's
in
good.
my head, what he's doing isn't far off from what people like were really doing at that time.
Yeah. He, in many cases, he's like one of the more rational characters of like the normal Hawkins folk, where he's like, look, there's weird shit going on, okay? Like, and I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. He's wrong, and he's way off.
No, in some ways he's like the opposite of Steve and Nancy in season.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
That's
my
interesting.
issue is with it though that I just thought about this. If you're gonna make him, because I think there is a parallel where in season one Nancy recruits Steve and Jonathan and all them because something's going on. In this season, he's doing that. I think those two needed to bounce off each other more. They get like one token scene.
That's fair.
Nancy should have kicked his ass. Also, we need to talk about this is the season where we just give up on this being in the real world. Um Nancy Wheeler just has access to guns. And not like small handguns, just guns.
Eh, it was the '80s. It was a
And
lot easier
remember when the
to buy
upside
guns
down
back then.
was remember when the upside down was yeah, so see we have this whole I'm tired of being bullied, I'm tired of girls laughing at us. And Tyler says that it's very believable there are people I went to school with who change their hobbies, social groups around. That is absolutely true. I don't need it in this story.
I think it could be handled better.
Especially because when weird shit starts happening, they just we're a team now again.
Yeah.
Although it does have one of my favorite moments where Steve has the lamp and he's going down the dark hallway and then he finds Lucas. He's like, "I almost hit you with this thing, Sinclair."
And this is so tricky. Do you think it would have worked better if because the previous seasons had mostly avoided this, but given that this is an 80s period piece, do you think the Lucas stuff may have actually worked better if they played up the racial angle more? Because he is like a black kid in a mostly white suburban
Yes,
town in the
because
80s, and now he's popular and he doesn't
because
want to, you know.
that that is one thing I think you can criticize the show for. It is it is the 80s with rose tinted glasses at times.
Absolutely.
The one
That's what
character
it is.
that even makes like a slight reference to maybe race was which was Billy in season 2. The fandom freaked the fuck out. People to this day still declare that Billy was a racist piece of shit out from one line of dialogue that I think is a stretch personally. No, it was
I
the
agree.
80s.
Yeah. And I agree that Billy has some of those negative traits. I would also argue that he has an arc, and he's a complicated,
No, Robert,
damaged
characters don't
character.
grow and change.
Oh,
Get out
okay.
of here with that. Tyler, how many times have you seen the
So,
season? Twice, like when it first came out. I haven't
yeah,
watched it
I've
since
seen it
then.
twice. It's right. This is like 3 years ago. What the fuck, man?
I
Why would that
know.
happen?
It feels like yesterday I couldn't get away from the Chrissy wake up memes.
So I think kicking off the Russia subplot in episode 1 is a big mistake.
No, this should have just been one episode so that a rewatch is I could skip it.
I don't agree with that, but I think part of why it feels so bloated and drawn out is we kick it off way too early.
We kick it off way too
That should have
early,
been
and
like,
then we have to. It's the subplot we check in for a token scene every episode.
yeah.
Uh, Also, I think we disagree on this. I'd be fine if maybe not both of them. Will or Jonathan should die because at this point they're the two I don't think offer anything to the narrative.
I think Will offers more. They just haven't given it enough to do. He has a couple bright spots at the end of the season, but yeah, my money is Jonathan, the one who should die. I feel like that character is nowhere to go,
Admittedly,
and
I
it's
am a
what's left
little
of the
more
story.
annoyed with Will just because of I hate doing this, but this is the one show where the fandom kind of affects my enjoyment of certain things. There is a rabid fan base that I keep getting on like TikTok about how Mike and Jonathan or Mike and Will are going to end up together, and it really just annoys me because I don't think that's going to happen, and it acts like the show will be bad if it doesn't. So it's almost like I
Yeah,
don't want that to happen because now you've annoyed me to death with it.
and I'm just not thinking of that stuff, but that's totally fair.
I probably would care less if I didn't see it all the time when one of these seasons comes out.
And one of my frustrations with this season and 3, honestly, is I at least here there's some Will and Eleven stuff I like, but God, do I need those characters to interact more? Because they can relate more than any of these other kids can. Like they've been both so
They
traumatized
should
by
be.
the Upside Down and all this bullshit. Like they should be ride or die together and not what they do.
Yeah, the problem is you've kind of written yourselves into a corner of she's dating the guy that Will has a crush on.
Mhm. But I think there's a more nuanced, complicated way of
But this
handling
isn't
that
a
than just
nuanced
being
show,
jealous.
Robert. This is a dumb
That's
show.
true. Yeah.
Phonix again. I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. I think says he thinks Jonathan will die in the season, especially with the senses with Nancy in
Yeah.
the trailer. I mean, I haven't seen
Have
the
you seen?
trailer, but I think he's the most likely one to die.
All right. All I'll say on that is well, what he's referring to is that there's a shot in the trailer of Nancy crying, and it's like, okay, that could be Jonathan dies or something like that happens.
Because
There's also her parents.
yeah,
I'm just saying.
we'll get into it. But a big thing that people complain about this season is a lot of the Steve stuff in this season is just backtracking to oh he's still in love with Nancy, and it's
Fair.
awesome.
Yeah.
My,
And
my
this is
annoyance with 11 is we're 4 seasons in. She still feels like the same character from season 1.
I have mixed feelings on that because we've never seen her in this type of social environment before, and in many
I
ways,
got sick of
I
this
could.
song real quick.
It is a great song. I
It
don't know.
it is a great chorus. The rest of the song sucks.
Oh, I don't agree. I think the song's fine. Um, the
I
11
also
stuff I'm mixed on because
sorry. Go ahead. I'm getting ahead of
well,
myself.
because I get what we're doing. We're doing the Carrie thing, seeing her getting bullied and stuff, and it makes sense to do that when she doesn't have powers, so she's lost a lot of confidence. Like where we start with her kind of makes sense because she's a traumatized from losing Hopper, and B feels like her power, like so much of her being has been taken from her. So like it logically makes sense for her to regress a bit. I just wish we weren't so miserable all the time with her.
She should at least be able to speak in complete sentences at this point.
Yeah, but she is still like there's still a progression there.
Right, but my problem is that this is the 4th season. She should be further along than she is. Okay, so
Yeah.
my question to you is the way that we are introduced to Max. She's a skater, a tomboy, a tough girl. Do you believe that she listens to synth pop?
Oh, sure. She's a California girl, so I buy that. That type of music's really popular here, and it was at the time. So
I
I think
mean,
that tracks.
you know more about that than I do.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
the way she's presented, I would think it's more rebel music. You know, David Bowie, Kiss, stuff like that.
But I also think she probably like this is like clearly a favorite specific song of hers, but she probably likes a variety of tastes.
It's a good thing her favorite song also just so it happens to coincide with what she's feeling emotionally at the moment.
Yeah, but that's how we respond to music, though. Makes sense. And I like how
No,
we handle
I'm
the
not really
fallout.
complaining. It's just funny that she just so happens to be in a situation where her favorite song, which I assume was her favorite song before any of that happened, fits completely. What if her favorite song was like Detroit Rock City by Kiss?
No, this is where the
This is the
teen
best
drama
stuff in the
stuff
show.
shines, where it feels authentic and real and not sugar coated. And her feelings on the whole Billy thing are complicated because, yeah, her stepbrother was an asshole and didn't treat her well. And then he died redeeming himself and saving her. That's gonna fuck up your head, especially at that age.
So this is her character arc specifically is some of the best stuff in the show. This is another case where they broke up again. But okay, this is the second time.
Yeah, I know. Well, at least in 3, like we made light of it, where Lucas is like, "Oh yeah, she's broken up with me like 5 times." It's
Yeah,
no big
but my
deal.
point is, if I'm Lucas at this point, I just give up, move on.
Yeah, he's young. You get fixated on people. I don't know. It's again very conflicted because on paper and in isolation, I think it's fine. It's just like, does
It's
every
in the
subplot need?
context of the season.
Does every single subplot need breakups, jealousies, love triangles? It's like one is fine. We don't need that in every subplot.
What I do like is the one thing the show is good at is organically letting the events of the last season affect the main status of this season. So last season, Billy died. It's haunting her. That's what lets Vecna in, and that's what creates the source of conflict for the characters.
Mhm.
Um, but this is also such like a wide. This season more than anything is doing too much and pulling from too many genres. So let's break this down for a second. 11 is Return of the Jedi
And Carrie
and Carrie. This is A Nightmare on Elm Street
with
and
Hellraiser. There's a little
and
bit of
a little bit of
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser. And then Mike is in a stoner comedy. I don't know.
It was the 80s.
So something people have pointed out, and I don't know if this is actually in the show because I don't remember, but we get hints at that the reason that Chrissy's being targeted is she's anorexic. She has like an abusive mom. I wish they would have brought some of that to the forefront a little bit.
Absolutely. That's the weird time vortex paradox of the
And you know
show.
who
Is
that is, don't
her,
you?
she's somebody's like somebody famous. She's somebody's daughter, right?
Yes. I can't think of his name, but have you seen Starship Troopers?
Oh, the Casper Van Dien
Yes, that
guy.
is his daughter.
Nice.
And you're right. She
That's
did step
awesome.
back from acting. She, last I heard, is a Twitch streamer right now.
No, hope she's doing well.
Yeah.
That's what. No, I looked that up, and it's like her father's Casper Van Dien, and it's like that's not a name that sticks with me.
No, I was like, I know what he's been in, but I can't think of his name. Also, I want to point out that Vecna is played. Oh, Phoenix thinks that season 4 is the worst out of the 4 seasons that we've had.
No, hot take.
Yeah, season 2 is still the worst one for me. The first half is atrocious.
Oh, I don't agree with it at all, and your commentaries don't agree with that. We both agreed that that season starts really strong. It just slogs in the middle. No, season
There,
two starts great.
there's
It ends great. There's
there's
issues.
storylines that still drag it below like 2, 3, and 4, and 1.
And I think I just have that with every season. Not every storyline always fires on all cylinders.
But
Um,
I think the main storyline of 3, with Steve and Robin and them trapped in the Russian base is higher than even like the best of season 2.
ah, I and I personally don't agree with that. Though some of that stuff is still fun.
If this season was just trimmed down a little bit, it'd be the second best season.
Yeah,
You get
and
you
like I
get
said,
one unnecessary bloated subplot. You don't get 3 or 2 if you can count correctly.
yeah, it like I said, every season has issues for me, but it's also kind of credit. Like there's there's really two camps of Stranger Things fans. There's the purists who loved one and then just don't care after that, who are just out, and then there's people like us who more or less enjoyed the whole thing with issues
Caveats.
potentially, with caveats. But I also think
Hey, it's
it's
Johnny
to
Storm.
it is Johnny Storm. I do think it's to the show's credit, though, that there really isn't a general consensus on how the seasons rank or what is the best after. You don't really see that. A lot of people love 2, a lot of people love 3, and a lot of people love 4. I think 4 is probably at this point the fan favorite after 1, but like you love 3, and a lot of people hate 3.
I
Like
know.
there's not a general consensus on like when this show did or didn't drop off.
Uh, One thing I do think. Okay, I want your opinion on this because a lot of this season is going to be Dustin and Eddie's relationship.
Yeah.
Is that too much of a retread of Steve and Dustin? Because we're even going to mention it because Dustin says that Steve is jealous that he's hanging out with Eddie.
I think that's fair. I think Eddie and Steve are different enough characters. I don't think that's a problem or unrealistic, especially like when you're a kid and growing up. Like you're gonna latch on to different people, and the context is just so different. Steve was the popular guy, and Eddie's more of a social outcast. And also, like they relate to that's the big thing. They relate to each other on different things. Like Eddie's the big D&D guy. That's how they meet. That's how he gets attached to him. Steve is not that like at all. Steve's not a nerd the way Dustin is. So it's that thing where Steve and Dustin work because they compare and contrast so well, and then Dustin and Eddie works because Eddie's just an older version of Dustin, and because they are so alike.
Yeah.
But both dynamics can work, and that's why I'm fine with it.
No, I think both dynamics work, but it does kind of go into that same like, oh, we're just doing season 3 again. Or
Yeah,
season
two,
2
two,
again.
two is
Sorry.
when that stuff starts. Yeah.
So I've mentioned this to you off camera, but just for on camera, I laughed really hard when what's his name Joseph Quinn
Joseph Quinn. Yeah.
got Human Torch Because for years, I was like, oh, Joe Keery would be a great Human Torch. And I stand by that. But the moral of the story is I was in the right show, the wrong actor.
The right era, or the wrong era, I should say. No, this stuff is some of the highlights of the show. Because for me, when I was in high school, at least the start of high school, I was in marching band, so that was kind of my clique. And I remember having this type of buddy relationship with like some of the older guys, like that freshman senior dynamic. That's the stuff of the season that I think is fun. That was like the highlight of freshman year for me, which was otherwise miserable
That sucks.
and not a good time for me.
Um, do we need to bring Murray back?
I like him. I think he's used fine in 2 and 3, but we've
Oh,
now hit that point where
no. I will fight you on 2. He only exists in 2.
two is problems, but there's good stuff with him.
The best stuff with him in
It's
2 is him and the Russian guy. No, that's 3.
That's 3.
Oh no, I think I kind of hate him in season 2.
I know it's because of the Steven, Nancy, and Jonathan
Well,
stuff,
because he
but
just exists
plot.
to tell Nancy that she doesn't like Steve. It's like,
That's
what are we
that's
doing?
not true.
What does
That's
he
not
do
true.
in that season besides that?
He's important to the plot in facilitating and figuring out how to barb thing. Like we've talked about this in
I
depth.
know.
It's
I'm
on
just being an
record. It's on the
asshole.
channel. No, he's really fun in 3, but with him, it's that point of he's like a fun side character now that we now have to make a main character. Like it feels
Like,
obligatory
why
when
does his scenes feel like something out of like Airplane?
a little that. And that starts with 3. That's the thing. You love 3, but
I
for a
know.
lot of people, 3
I
went
liked
too
3,
goofy
but
and weird.
with some caveats.
Exactly. And like I said, I clearly like the Russia subplot more than you do. I don't know why we need this in the first episode. You could have waited a few episodes before we even get to that. One of my biggest issues with the season is at the end of 3, we set up this really interesting status quo of Joyce taking in 11 and saying, oh, what kind of mom is she going to be to 11 and what kind of brother sister
And then we just don't
relationship.
see any of that.
We don't get any of that. Like, they completely skip all that because we got to start the Hopper plot. It's like, dang it.
No, because this show is allergic to downtime.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I'm really interested in is how the show is remembered when it's all said and done. And a lot of that depends on the finale. If people are happy with the finale. Like look at Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But in many ways, this is kind of the face of streaming shows, for better and worse. This does all the things that I think are great about streaming shows and all the things that I think are awful about streaming shows. Javen says, now we're in Red Guardian's origin story. What?
That's true. Oh, he's talking about Hopper.
Oh, right. Well, because I was looking at Nancy on the screen and I was like, wait a minute.
Also, I know they're paying attention to the timeline. It was still really jarring to me when this show started of, oh, wait, Nancy's still in high school?
I had that too, because I think the problem is because season 3 takes place over the summer. You see her doing like adult things. So then when we're back in this, and I always forget that she's supposed to be a year younger than Steve.
Yes, they say that in season 1 because she's
right, but I always
and he's a junior, I think.
Yeah, he'd have to be because he's still in high school in season 2.
Yeah.
But it's just that's like a line of dialogue. I don't remember. But it's just weird because now it feels like we're back and she's in high school. It's like, really? And it doesn't help that she looks a lot older than even a season ago.
Yeah, she looks 25 and she's paired with a kid who looks high school age. I don't know how old that actor is, but he looks like a teen. Yeah, because like if you do the math, it tracks because it's season 1, she's sophomore. And then 3 is that summer break job before senior year. So here, she is getting out of high school. Like, she is wrapping up senior year here. It's still jarring. And like, oh, right. Because this show only takes place over a period of like 4-ish years.
I like this idea where Nancy is driven and Jonathan just isn't. But The way she's
Yeah,
describing him, that is not the character that I've seen the last 3 seasons.
yeah, and again, my issue it's just the accumulative factor of like, what does every subplot need love drama? Can't we have one healthy relationship besides Dustin and Susie, who's barely a character? So yeah, again, I'm just so mixed on this premiere because there's a
I
lot of stuff I
loved this
like.
scene with them on the phone together. No, I maintain that whoever you put
This
with
is great.
Steve has the best subplot because I don't know if they just have like different writers for his scenes, but they are always good.
And then you get scenes like this where it's like, well, we need to give Mike something, but it also feels like you just cut this out.
Yeah.
This scene with Max is kind of fun. This is a good bit of levity.
No, I buy this. I don't buy the wrestling one.
Yeah, well, it's because we need to give every kid a scene where they're pitching D&D to somebody.
Draven, this has the same
And
thing with
you're
Cobra
done.
Kai.
You could have cut one of these with Mike.
Yeah,
This is why this episode's an hour and
makes
20
Mike
minutes
look
long.
like an idiot. He's just going to random people. It's like, hey, you want to play D&D?
Yeah. I mean, when you're
Uh,
desperate, you're desperate.
Draven says this has the same thing with Cobra Kai, where all of the kids are still in high school, but most of them are like mid to late 20s. So I haven't seen that show because I haven't even seen the Karate Kid movies. The only thing I know about that is one of the kids in that is commonly fan cast as Tommy from Power Rangers.
Oh, interesting. And I know that
It's
Blue Beetle is on that show.
Tanner Buchanan, I think. I don't know if you've seen
That's
that
new.
show.
I've seen the pilot, but that was years ago, and I need to get back to it. I liked it, and I like the first Karate Kid movie, so it's something I need to get back to.
I need to finally sit down and watch those.
It's a good movie. I mean, if you like Rocky, you'll probably
Yeah.
like it. It's like the same director and composer.
Oh, I didn't know that. All I know about those movies is wax on, wax off.
Yeah, of course.
So, Robert, do you normally go into the woods after school?
No, because I'm in the desert.
Also,
I'd have to walk really far to get to woods.
I've talked about this before, but as a born and raised Hoosier, someone who lived in Indiana, this is not what our woods look like.
I just believe what the movies and TV shows tell me
Yeah. What do you
on the
mean there aren't
path.
like 600 superheroes running around New York?
Have you ever seen the motion picture Hoosiers
No.
with Gene Hackman? Oh, that's good. That's a good little sports drama movie, and it's funny because that they never explain that title in the movie. You just have to know what that colloquial
I need to
phrase
watch
means.
more of those. I really like sports movies when the sports are just like the occasion to tell a story. It's not actually
Yeah,
about the sport. Like
yeah.
we've talked about this before. Remember the Titans is one of my favorite movies. And that's
It's a
a
good movie.
football movie, but it's not really about football. Rocky's peak.
Yeah, Hoosiers. Gene Hackman plays a basketball coach, but he's like a big time basketball coach who loses his job for doing something bad, and then goes to this small town where he gets to teach basketball there. And it's like, yeah, the principal's like an old friend of his or something who like owes him a favor. So like that's how he gets the job. So, but yeah, it's a good little drama.
Tyler says, Robert, that was an all
Recommend.
time answer. No, because I live in the desert. So I was jokingly criticizing this show a second ago, having her go in the woods. I forgot that she was supposed to meet him here. That's my bad.
Yeah, I forgot that too. That she's coming here for weed, as you
Something
do.
stronger. Phonix, a big theory that I've been seeing is that Will is going to get powers like 11, I personally think this is really stupid. What are your thoughts? I mean, this show's already jumped the shark once. They'll
I
probably do
wouldn't
it
put it
again.
past them.
I think that would
It,
also be stupid, but
I'd have to see it in context.
my big worry about the finale is it's not going to feel like a finale because we have that studio set up to pump out other Stranger Things content.
Yeah.
Like, I think I told you this before. A show that I do want to cover at some point, even though it's not very good, is Teen Wolf because it is the horror show. But that finale isn't a finale, it's a backdoor pilot. They don't actually catch the bad guy. They're like, well, we've recruited all these people for spin-offs that never happened.
Yeah. I want to get back to that, but I will say we were talking earlier about how weird the internet is. I will say this is a really fantastic scene. Their chemistry is great. It's kind of a shame we don't get much more of them together, just given the nature of the story. But that's why it
No,
works. Like this
there
is the scene that makes Eddie a fan favorite.
yeah. There is a really cool, I think, dynamic that you could do here. I think the problem is that the internet doesn't understand that not every story has to have a happy ending. Her death is tragic, it's supposed to be.
And not every to expand on that, not every character can be the main character, which
Yes,
is how
that is a
fandoms
big
often do.
problem with fandom and Hollywood. We don't have supporting characters even anymore. Even with this show, I would argue that after season one, everybody is either a main character or never there.
Mhm.
It is okay to have a character that is just there to support another character.
It is really funny seeing Joseph Quinn give this performance and seeing that wig and everything, and then you see what he's actually like in interviews and stuff, and it's very jarring how not Eddie is, how
I
not
have
Eddie
that with
like this guy is.
I have that with Holt, Nicholas Holt, when you see him in interviews like on Press for
Sure,
Superman.
yeah.
I watched this one. It's not really an interview, but it's like a lot of actors will do it on the press tour. It's called Food Wars, where if it's like two actors from different countries, they'll each try a snack from the other. He took one bite of American chocolate. I was like, that is like the worst thing I've ever eaten. The Liam Neeson one was hysterical. Him and Pamela Anderson didn't even eat like half the food. They just
They're
picked
great
one.
together.
They're so good. Um,
More Stephen King bully. That's the thing. We didn't just have one Stephen King bully in Hawkins. We also got to have the California Stephen King bullies who are so awful and over the top.
yeah, and I just I like the resolution of this
And
because it kind of made me laugh.
one of the girls is named Angela because sleepaway camp reference.
Uh,
I didn't catch that before. Angela.
I would have
Sorry,
never
you were saying.
pieced that together. I just, what did she think was gonna happen here? What are we
It's
doing?
so awkward, embarrassing. I don't mind this as a choice that like she's pushed to a point where she tries to use her powers, and of course it doesn't work, or she forgets. It's embarrassing. It's painful. I guess. Oh, there's an adult finally. Um, I'm very much of two minds about it because I think putting 11 in this situation is fine, especially after losing her powers because she's lost a lot of her confidence and seeing her have to deal with bullies and social issues and stuff. I think is fine. It's just like the Stephen King bully trope goes, it has to be dialed up to an 11. You
I wouldn't
can't.
mind that. I like a Stephen King bully, but the resolution to this whole thing makes me laugh really hard because 11 is a psychopath. Um,
She is.
but a this doesn't add anything in the grand scheme of things. You could take this subplot out, and everything else in the California plot still happens the same way. And
Yeah,
B,
it's like
it's part of my problem with 11 is her character growth might as well be going backwards. By season 4, she should know you don't hit people with razor blades.
It's not a razor blade. It's a roller blade.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was exaggerating. It's still a blade. She could have killed that
It's a,
girl.
yeah. No, that part I think is fine. Uh, 11. She's still really young. She's killed a lot of people. Violence has been the solution to most of her problems. I absolutely like. You think it's regression, but I see it as like no. She's still really young and really fucked up. She's
It's
not
not regression.
as
It's
adjusted as we're gonna be.
lack of progression. I look at this character. She's still the same that she was in season one.
I don't entirely disagree with that. It's for me the issue is just the love drama stuff on top of that. It's I think we could just get there better.
Well,
Um,
and I think that's part of it is we want her to progress because she's in many ways the central piece. But we only want her to progress in the ways that we want her to. So she
okay.
progresses by, becoming interested in boys and Mike and gains friends, but she doesn't actually develop a code or like a morality of her own. It's just I hurt people when they make me angry and I'm
Well,
still acting
that's
like I'm
all
11.
she's known. Yeah, like
But
me.
at this
Uh, uh,
point, she has made friends with the kids, with Steve and Nancy, with Jonathan.
well,
Some of that
and she's
should have
split
changed
from most
her.
of them a little, but not for that long. She's also split up from most of them, and that's part of the problem. Tyler asked how long the first 4 episodes are, and the other guy in the live chat said they're all an hour and 20 minutes. I think they all are except for three. I think three is the short one. It's like an hour five or something, but it could be wrong.
But
Um,
you're right, not for very long. But she was with, even discounting that, she was with Hopper for what, a year?
and that was a very unusual relationship.
Right.
That
But at
like
the
that
end
was
of the
still in
day,
isolation.
when you get to here and she's still the same, then that means that this character is refusing to change. But we're not talking about it.
I don't. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna pitch it. You know how
Okay.
I fix the bully thing, and then 11 attacking her with the rollerblade. What if Will's the one getting bullied, and 11 finally snaps and attacks her to defend Will? What if
I
that's
think
the
that could be
context and
interesting.
motivation behind it?
I think that
Okay,
could be interesting because
cool.
the
I think
one
that could
thing
work.
we kind of do get is that she very much cares about her friends.
Mhm.
Um,
Except when she only cares about Mike. We go back and
yes.
forth. Sometimes she cares about her friends. Sometimes it's
Uh,
Mike and nothing
I
else.
love this as a payoff to the season 3 thing. She sounds like a Muppet.
Yeah.
And Joe Curie is just so good at these like facial expressions.
Oh God. At some point in our lives, if you're American, you've had to sit through a shitty rendition of the. At some point in your life, this has happened. Of the national anthem.
I wanted to hear Jelly Roll sing it in front of a wrestling crowd. Uh, can we just say it is law that Dustin is the best of the kids? He just
Dustin's
is.
great. Also, using Erica here is fine because we did set that up last season with giving her the D&D set. And I think this season actually uses Erica fine. She shows up when they need her, but she's not as forced and in your face as she
Also,
was in.
really funny because in season 3 she looks like she's 6, and here she looks as old as the rest of them.
Yes, that is true.
No, I think this is the best possible solution if you need a D&D partner.
Mhm.
And I think it might be because the actress is older now. She's able to still be that sassy, like smart girl without being obnoxious.
It doesn't feel as sitcom as much of a sitcom.
Even though she does have one of my favorite moments in 3 where she's complaining about missing somebody's party, and Steve's like, "I don't care about Tina's party."
Tyler said, "Now time for the stand part 2." I mean, this isn't going to be that much shorter
Nope.
than
And we still
that.
got to do the 2020 version.
That's true. Maybe that's what we'll do next, because that'll at least be a one and done.
Oh God,
We should
no
probably do that before. Wait, is it a new movie they're doing?
new movie, but
Because
we
they're
don't have
rebooting The
any
Stand again.
details again. We got to do
Oh,
Buffy before that reboot hits, or
that's true. We
soft
have time.
revival, whatever. That's what you said a year ago.
Tomato, tomato. I think the sequence is pretty drawn out, but this is the fun downtime stuff I like. I like getting the D&D game and the basketball game.
I
Like
find that
that's fun. I
everything
want
in
more of this.
Hawkins, that's actually in Hawkins, even when it's slowing down, it's great. It's everything else and part of it is I'm just impatient to get back to where the actual plot is happening. Like, if you wanted spin-offs so badly, you could have almost just made the Russia subplot and the California subplot seasons of their own.
You're not wrong.
Phonix really likes, it says his favorite kid is Will, but Dust is a close second.
Hey, I like Will too. I have issues with Will. I think he's underutilized a lot. I wish, because I like the stuff with Will in this episode with him trying to stand up for 11. It really sucks when Mike enters the picture and then it's just, oh, Will is just jealous of 11, and then that's his personality for like most of the season.
But Robert,
That's unfortunate.
love triangles sell to teenage girls.
That is true. And like I
If you
said, the
if you
drama
love
with
love triangles, we got plenty of them for you.
and we talked about this in season 3. I think the stuff with Will at the start of season 3 is really good. It's really relatable. The drama and of what he's going through with his friends and being kind of emotionally stunted and having that blowout he has at Mike. Like all that stuff is great, and then the plot has to happen, and then we just kind of stop dealing with that for the rest of the season.
I
And
I
this
think
doesn't really
that's
work out well.
fine. I'm gonna get canceled for this. So we set that up, and it always played to me in season 3 like it was just, oh, he hasn't reached that puberty maturity like of being interested in girls the same way that like Mike and Mike and Lucas and Dustin have. That's fine. Everybody, matures at their own rate. And then this season decided, no, it's that he's in love with Mike. And it feels like
I
that is just because we need another love triangle.
Yeah, the love triangle thing is annoying, but I do think it tracks with his
Okay.
personality and behavior. Because in season, and this is where some people find Mike pretty unlikable in 3 and get where Will's coming from. Because in season 2, Mike is very attached to Will and very protective of him because of what happened in season 1. So those two are close and together a lot. And I think the idea is that that's when Will kind of starts to develop these types of feelings for Mike, and then in season 3 he feels kind of abandoned by Mike when now Mike's spending all his time with 11.
And
And
see,
but the line in question when Mike says it's not our, in season 3 when Mike says it's not our fault you don't like girls, yeah, I always picked up queer undertones to that.
but
That's
how
just
much
my
of that is
reading
just
of it.
he's a kid in the 80s?
I always picked up on queer undertones with him.
Right, but you got to
Like,
remember that in the
whether,
80s, saying something like that is normal, even would be almost normal, even to a straight guy.
but I can buy that Mike knows or at least like suspects that
I don't
Will
think
might
he
be gay.
does,
I don't know.
given if I take this season into consideration.
That's fair.
Because I don't think the writers knew until this season.
Yeah, but and I'm speaking from my experience watching this before we were
Of
even talking
course.
to each other. Going all the way back to season 3, I always picked up on, oh, Will's probably gay. Like that's probably where they're going with that.
I mean, that's fair. I could be in the wrong. I will admit that. I also don't care enough about Will's love life.
I wish it wasn't all boiled down to just love triangle, and I wish Will's entire personality this season wasn't just I love Mike. Like you could give him more to do.
That's I think the bigger problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're right, people really dislike Mike after that scene in season 3. But I'm like, no, Mike's kind of in the right. Like, I would also be annoyed if I wanted to go do something else, and all my friend wanted to do was this other thing, and like he's acting like I'm the bad guy because I don't want to do this at the moment.
I see where both are coming from. Like that's
Both are
that
right,
fits the growth.
but I'm saying more so if you're gonna villainize one of them, I think Will is more in the wrong there.
Yeah, and Mike, I don't think is unlikable at all this season. He just doesn't get anything to do.
I hate him for that outfit that he wears when he first gets to
It's
California.
great. I love it. I love his California outfit.
No, the problem with Mike in this season is he is boiled down to two things: being obsessed with 11, which starts in season 3, and
Arguably two.
arguably 2. Yeah. See, and I think he's more unlikable in 2. He is a dick to Max for no reason.
But yeah, and I buy it. I agree that he's unlikable. I just think it tracks.
No, it tracks. When I say no reason, I mean in universe, there's no reason for him to act like that. I get why the writers are having him do it, but he's being a little shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Mike is just here to be obsessed with 11 and to ignore Will.
Yeah.
Phonix says agreed. Feel like they could have written out Will's character better in season 4, especially with all the upside down stuff. Yeah, like is he no
I just
longer
think he was
connected
very
to the
lucky.
upside down?
Right, and in the
No, he can't be because the end of this season is him feeling something on the back of his neck. Right? Am I right?
maybe I don't remember.
Okay.
That's in the trailer for 5. They're bringing that back in 5, but it's like
At
a
least
thing we
at
kind of
5
just
he
forgot
gets
about.
a haircut that isn't embarrassing.
Finally, God, that was driving me crazy.
Oh, now Lucas gets the embarrassing haircut.
It was the '80s. It's fine.
Dustin's look made me laugh really hard.
He's got a
Tyler, do
mullet.
you find Vecna a menacing villain?
I
I
like
think it is
Vecna.
a really good. Well, but that's not the question. The question is, do you find him a menacing villain? I think it is a great performance, but this show likes to handicap its villains because nothing bad can happen to the protagonists. So I never believe that they are in danger, which really cuts a lot of his menace. For me
Yeah, that's
personally.
fair. It's tricky. Like
But also, what he does to the side characters is arguably some of the most fucked up shit in this show.
it's messed up. Yeah. And they won me over on him because in the trailer for 4, when they first revealed Vecna, I was kind of like, "Oh, that's what we're doing. We got to do this type of bad guy now." Okay, like I wasn't sold. And then hearing the Duffer Brothers talk about it, of like again with the '80s influences, like well, we're looking at Freddy Krueger and Pinhead and those types of characters. I was like, okay, I get it.
So,
And I mostly like him.
my favorite thing is when they were doing press for the show, they showed Joe Keery, Maya Hawke, and Joseph Quinn, I think, the guitar scene for the first time. And they're like, because they can't see it, it's amazing. So, what is the coincidence? How is it too much of a coincidence that her death is going to so happen to take place in the same trailer park that Max lives in?
It's a small town, ostensibly,
Is
except
it?
when it isn't. Yeah. Okay,
Is this also
okay,
the only show that's going to have every character from the premiere is alive in the finale?
well, I mean, Chrissy's not gonna make it.
No, from
What do you
season
mean?
1 premiere. to the series finale. We have not written on any major characters. We have not killed any major characters. All of the main
I,
cast is still here.
I'm sure some of them are gonna go in season 5. Might not be a lot, but whether it's Jonathan or Joyce or Hopper or even Nancy and Mike's mom, somebody like that, I'm sure somebody's gonna go.
Tyler, I feel like the Mind Flayer is scarier than the fact.
That's that's fair.
I don't, just because she's a floating blob. Like,
Well, it's kind of Lovecraftian, this weird, mysterious entity, and then we kind of, I don't know. We definitely by this season though decide the Mind Flayer is a different thing.
yes.
That's a retcon that happens. Meanwhile, in A Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh my God, it's a Deadite.
Oh my god. You know, I have my issues with the Duffers as writers. I don't know if they directed this episode, but they could do a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. I'd be down with that.
They'd be a good choice. You could put a pin in this question, but what we always say when we're talking about adapting Stephen King, like give it to Flanagan. We always say this. It's a slogan here on Haven of Horror. Just give it to Flanagan. He's the Stephen King guy. I feel like the Duffer Brothers are a fine alternative. I think they could do a solid Stephen King
It depends
adaptation.
on the story.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust them with Dark Tower. Nothing
Oh
that
god, no.
epic.
Like they might do an all right Salem's Lot.
I think they're better filmmakers than Gary Dauberman.
I mean, but he's Austin's favorite filmmaker.
That's true. Yeah, if you're a first time viewer, we have a friend who's on here sometime, Austin. He loves Gary Dauberman. He's like
Yeah.
his favorite filmmaker. We give him shit for that a lot. He's a big fan of that guy.
Phonics.
And he's so good here.
I often don't have things ruined for me by the internet with like memes and stuff like that. I cannot see this without seeing the Chrissy wake up meme.
Chrissy, wake up.
Chrissy, wake up. Tyler, I want at least 4 to go by the end of season 5. For core characters or just characters in general? Phoenix, out of every character in season 4, dead or alive, which one do you think was an unnecessary character to add in? Oh god, there's so many though. Like Murray never needed to come back. Hopper did. Maybe this is a hot take, and feel free to disagree with me. Hopper didn't need to come back. That he should have just that should have just been it. He's dead.
I'm very of two minds of that.
I don't
I'm
like
fine with
this.
bringing
Wake
him back,
up.
but
And Robert can attest to this. I still reference this. It's burned into my brain. So we're getting a lot of answers to your question. Tyler says Cujo. Draven says at one point they were in the running to direct it. Tyler says or Christine.
I think they could do Christine. I prefer Flanagan, but I think they could do it.
Because Austin will fight me on this. I don't think Carpenter's Christine is very good. It gets the horror stuff, but what works about Stephen King and makes him stand out is the character stuff. And the characters in Christine are just all really one-dimensional. So this actor, I can't think of his name now, but he's like a big actor.
Now, yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie Campbell Bower.
Yes. I first see him in the trailers for The Mortal Instruments with Lily Collins.
Oh.
I never saw the movie because I liked the books at the time and I didn't think the movie looked very good. And then we later readapted it into a show, which I've heard mixed things about. Hey, do you remember that scene in Nightmare on Elm Street where the lady was on the roof, on the ceiling?
Oh. Yeah, this is fucked up body horror.
Yeah.
It's not a good way to go.
Okay. I give you a lot of shit for complaining about CGI. because at some points I think you're just complaining to complain, just being upfront. That is a place where you can complain because it looks bad. Well, that was it. Season 1, episode. That was
1.
season 4, episode 1. Yeah, I said season 1, episode 1. If you're watching after the fact, we appreciate it. If you're watching, consider hitting that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.